So have you been breached or haven't you been breached? That's really a tough question to answer right now, because the website that Equifax has provided to research that has had all kinds of issues today and has been flaky at best. Hey, this is Mark Marley from Network Computer Solutions. I want to give you an update on a report that I gave you last night about Equifax. I know a lot of people are publishing information on it. You probably read about it a lot, but I'm still finding people who are unclear about a few things, and I want to clarify a few things. One, there's a website that Equifax has provided to allow you to go type your last 6 digits of Social Security number in and your last name, and it tells you whether or not you've been affected or not. The funny thing is about that is I know people who have tried it on their laptop computer and been told they were not breached and they were safe, and then they go back a short time later on their mobile phone and it tells them they have been breached. I've actually seen screenshots today of the same person tracking the same database on different devices with different answers. So it almost seems like Equifax is doing something to kind of slow down the number of people that they allow to sign up for their credit monitoring. Also, be aware that you can put credit monitoring on your accounts, but you may not want to use the Equifax free credit monitoring. If you read the fine print, I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, but if you could actually read that, you'll see that by signing that and acknowledging that you want to use their free credit monitoring, you're taking yourself out of the possibility of ever being in a class action lawsuit or being paid from a class action lawsuit. Not that you'd expect to ever get much money out of this, but you take yourself out of that forever. So you may want to go to a third-party credit monitoring service instead and not use theirs. Plus, how can you trust Equifax, all the mistakes they made with more of your information now? This whole cyber breach investigation has been kind of a debacle for them. I'm not going to go into all the details, but every step of the way they seem to be stumbling and having big mistakes. And also, it's kind of interesting that the PR firm that they've hired has been registering lookalike domain names. One in particular was Equifax.com. They're trying to protect the identity, the reputation of Equifax. So just be on the lookout. If you check your credit, check it again. But I also want to talk a little bit about freezing your credit with the credit bureaus. It seems to be a popular thing. It's not a bad thing to do. You should go do that. If you freeze your credit, people cannot apply for credit or do credit inquiries in your name unless you temporarily unfreeze it or permanently unfreeze that credit. But one of the issues with this thing is if you do that, you still have to monitor your credit and monitor your credit card accounts, because on investigation today I was looking at the website how to unfreeze your accounts, and I found the instructions if I was to lose my PIN. If I go to request a freeze, they give me a PIN code, and only that PIN code allows me to unlock and unfreeze my credit report. Well, if I forget my PIN code, there's an option to reset it, kind of like you do reset your password. But the information they're asking for is your name, address, Social Security number, and date of birth. Well, that's all the information that was supposedly leaked in the Equifax breach. So if I have my credit on hold and I buy that information on the dark web, there's a pretty good chance that I can reset my own PIN code or someone else reset my PIN code and still get my information. They may move on to easier targets, but eventually as they get through all those easy targets, they might stumble onto yours or mine who has a PIN code and reset it for us. And that's a lot like when you have the same password for your email address as you do for every other site that you go to. It's bad news as well, because once they have your email account, people can typically reset anything they want to reset, from banking passwords to email to even any kind of login, because when you forget a password, it goes to your email. So the email is the key to the kingdom, so to say. So I'm going to update you more over the weekend as this is going to break. Equifax has done really some bad things in this whole investigation so far, and even down as far as suspicion of executives, selling stock with knowledge of the breach. We'll see how that comes out. There's already a law firm, I understand, in California, I read, that's already filing a lawsuit about insider trading. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out. Let's hope they weren't doing that and they were innocently just selling their stock. If they were doing something else, it's not going to look good for the company at all. And this is not the first time this company and Experian, another major credit bureau, has been breached recently. So just keep an eye on everything you do credit-wise, put a freeze on it, log in at a regular basis, and just make sure that you're not going to be a victim. Stay tuned to this Facebook page. If you could, comment now where you're watching from. We're getting a lot of participation, a lot of likes, but I want to know where you're from. How far are we reaching out? And do me a favor, make a comment, give me a thumbs up, and share this content so that other people can be alerted when I go live, so I can give you relevant information. And trust me, if I'm bothering you and giving you information late at night like I did last night, it's going to be relevant, something I feel is an emergency and needs to be acted on immediately. So stay tuned. I think you'll learn a few things, and we'll see you later this weekend.